since I have been away for a while. I had some computer problems. Tonight on this full moon, blue full moon, March 31st, 2018, I'm going to show you guys how to make witches' cauldron spirits. If you've heard of this before, you know that it's just a mixture with surgical spirits or rubbing alcohol to make a pretty fire in your cauldron. On the new moon of March, I started this witch's cauldron spirits. This cauldron spirit I took on the new moon of March 31st, 2018. I took homegrown chamomile, put it in there, homegrown lavender, put that in there, some pieces of moonflower from my harvest of moonflowers last year, 2017, and then some wild rosemary that grows wild on my property. I filled that up, and then I poured in the rest of the way this rubbing alcohol, and this is the substance you get here. Nice and flowery looking for you guys. So what I'm going to do with this is, since I prepared it on the new moon, it has been sitting aside in a cool, dark place, and I have taken it out and shaken it at either 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. every 3 days. Always remember that 3 is a magical number. 3 o'clock is the witching hour. Preferably a.m., p.m. works too. So now this is ready to be strained out. And how I will do that is I will take one of my tea strainers and a little bit of cheesecloth, and I will just pour this into it, squeeze all the rubbing alcohol out, and put it into a dropper, and then I will be able to invoke fire. Why would I invoke fire? Well, for many reasons. Why do we ever invoke fire? We use it in our rituals every time, pretty much. You can use it when invoking the element fire, obviously. You can use it for Sabbath fire festivals. You can use it for scrying and divination, and many, many, many magical practices. Any time you want to celebrate fire, this is a great way to do it. So what you do is you take your cauldron, and what I like to do is I like to break up a little bit of charcoal. So I'll grab a piece. That's kind of big. And we will put it in our cauldron, which is already a little bit warm. I did a warm-up test for this. Okay, so I've got a small piece of self-lighting charcoal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cauldron spirits that was made with cinnamon, and I'm going to put drops right on the charcoal here, and then all around in my cauldron like this. And what you do with it is you just drop in a lit match and watch it go. Just like so. Fire, I invoke thee. So beautiful every time. This is a great way to get your charcoal lit. And the thing of doing it with herbs, as it is magical to do everything with herbs, doing it with herbs gives it a special kick, because after the fire has burned away, after the alcohol has burned off, you get this slight incense herbal smell that just makes your heart feel good. And the flame is so beautiful. We love it. Pretty cool, huh? Want to learn how to do it? I'll show you how to do it. So, we are going to take one jar. I'm using a small jar because I already do have a couple different mixtures made up, and I don't want to make up a lot. I just want to show you guys how to do it because it's just fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my jar. I'm going to grab some, let's see, some homegrown chamomile. from 2017. Put that down in there. And I like to keep mixing them to make it pretty, so you'll see what I mean here. I'm going to take some homegrown lavender, which is still in its little tunnels, I like to call them, little steeples there. Great for herb worship. So we're just going to stick these down in there at random. And now I'm going to take some wild rosemary. And this wild rosemary was flowering while I harvested it. So it's got lots of magic in it. Drop in that piece there. You don't want to squish the herbs down. I guess you could if you wanted to, so that you could put a lot of herbs in there. But really, just fit what feels right. Save that for another project, you guys. Save that over there. I'm going to do some homegrown rose hips too, because they look cool. These hips are very raw. They're still attached to the bud, but I think they look pretty cool like that. From red roses in my front yard. Everything I use in this is either homegrown by me in my gardens or my yards, or it is on my property wild, like the rosemary is. So we're just gonna almost fill her up to the top, drop a petal in there for good luck, and that'll be enough roses. So we'll put those back. I'm gonna add a little bit more chamomile for beauty and love. Beauty and love, two things we all need lots of. And let's do just a tiny bit more chamomile, and I think that'll do it, because we did get quite a good bit of lavender in there. Alright. Pretty easy. So, we have our jar here, filled with our herbs, nice and prepared. And now we're going to take these herbs and pour alcohol in it. I'm going to move my cauldron over a little bit because it does have like charcoal in it. I'm just going to pour in the alcohol until it fills up the jar. Now the herbs will soak up the alcohol as it stews. Don't be alarmed by this. It's just the herbs. You're not losing your spirits. It's not going anywhere. The herbs are just taking it and they are plumping up full of that alcohol. So it's going to look like there's less alcohol in it, but there is not. So, alright, we're going to cap this well, nice and airtight. We are going to label it, because that's one thing you have to be prudent about. Because if you just say, oh, well, I'll label it, when I get around to it the next day. No, don't do that. Because A, you may have forgotten what you've done because you do a lot of things. I could see that happening for me. But it's good discipline on the whole. You should always just make yourself, okay, I'm going to label it right now. And if you do that, it looks like this. And so it's got good rewards. So I'm just going to label this, Cauldron Spirits. I'll label. So now we have labeled our full moon Cauldron Spirits and put it away, shaken every 3 days until the next new moon. And once the moon has completed a cycle, so has your Cauldron Spirits. So I've dated this March 31st, 2018, the blue full moon tonight. And let's just look at that for a moment. Look how beautiful that is. You can see the rose petal bringing out all the red and all the rosemary, and then just I'm a sucker for herbs, and that is just so beautiful to me. So, to sign off, let's celebrate fire one last time with some cinnamon cauldron spirits, because it smells so yummy. Fire, I evoke thee and say goodbye to my magic family. So mote it be, and blessed be, guys. Now, take this magic right here. Take your fire and your witch's cauldron spirits. Take this and go do beautiful, magical things. I love you all. Good night.